Without further ado, let us tackle muna the upcoming experiment. Okay, so sabi nyo, last week, na kayo po ay came from different professors, no? Iba-iba yung professor nyo ng Biophysics 1, rather. And then, some of you may have completed at least 5 experiment and others medyo kaunti lang. Okay, so may I know, paki-raise po yung hand, ilan yung nanggaling kay Sir JP sa klase? Pwede po ba paki-raise po yung hand? Okay, so we have 10. Ang dami. Okay, thank you. Pakibaba na po. Okay, next. Ilan po yung nanggaling kay Sir Cyrus? Paki-raise po yung hand. Yan, madami din. So we have 10 and then 6, 17, 18. Okay, so napakarami palang galing kay Sir Cyrus. Okay, pakibaba na po yung hand. So, yung kay Sir Cyrus, di ba, ang nagawa niyo po ay 2 experiment, tama po ba? Pakisagot nga po. Guys, ilan po yung naging laboratory activity nyo with Sir Cyrus? Wala nang nakaalala? Kung nahiya po kayo mag-talk, pwedeng ilagay nyo na lang po sa chat. And then, may nanggaling po ba kay Sir Kahilig? Paki-raise po yung hand. Okay, it seems wala. How about kay Sir Sigmund Baraton? More than 3, I see. Okay, so Eliza, pwede bang pa-enumerate ano yung nagawa ninyo? Kasi more like, sige.
Tandaan ko. Pero, tuwing nag-face-to-face ko kami, parang po kasi, laging nilab. So, mga 2 or 3. Tapos, di ko na po maalala kasi po saan. Pero, meron po dun yung, yung sa weight. Tapos, ano pa ba? Pero, mga 2 or 3 po yung nagawa namin.
Yes, Trixie.
Sir, upon checking po sa dati naming MS Teams with Sir Cyrus, meron po akong nakitang 5 experiments po. Yung una po about measurement, pangalawa sa Newton's Law of Motion, pangatlo po friction, fourth momentum, then fifth is density po.
So kasi yung itong experiment ay medyo malayo na. Teka. So, okay. Ang pwede natin gawin, although yung mga nanggaling kasi kay Sir JP, malamang sa malamang uulitin nila. Pero ito lang kasi available natin. Kaya gamitin natin kasi naman di tayo makapag-experiment. So, ang gagawin natin, itong mga nanggaling kay Sir JP, pwede bang kayo yung leader saka vice leader? Kasi I think 10 naman, no? More than 10. So, one acting leader tapos yung isa yung second leader. And then the rest, ihati-hati na lang po yung groups. And then, nakausap ko last time, sino nga ba yun? So 5 daw po yung groupings. So gano'n na lang din yung gayahin natin. Okay, 5 groups. Kayo na pong bahalang maghati-hati. Basta yung 5 nanggaling kay Sir JP, kayo na po yung leader tsaka yung second leader. Puwede po ba? Okey lang po ba? React nga ng heart. Wala akong nakikita nag-react. Yes, Jolene?
Good afternoon, sir. May mga na-form na po atang 5 groups for this subject po.
I see, may na-form na 5 groups. Okay. Pero hiwa-hiwalay po ba itong mga galing kay Sir JP? Or magkakasama sa isang group? Okay. Kasi yung gusto natin, since sila yung may idea kung paano yung gagawin, so they can act as a leader para i-lead or i-guide yung magiging members. Okay? So, ayun ang mangyayari, no? Kung lahat po kayo nagawa niyo na, it would be boring kasi wala na kayong tuturuan. Okay? So, mas maganda siguro ikalat itong mga students na ito. Puwede po ba i-revise po yung groupings? Agree po ba ang lahat? Walang sumasagot. Ayan. Okay, so gano'n gawin natin ha. Pakiayos na lang po. So 5 experiment. Pakilagay nga po ulit, measurement, Newton's law, friction. Ano pa yung dalawa? Density, saka ano ba 'tong anyway, sige. Ang puwede nating gawing una although di ako sure if meron silang gamit, pero since gawa naman 'to ng physics, so I assume meron silang gamit sa lab, is yung torque. Okay? So, right now, ang ginawa ko is nagpa-reserve na ako ng classroom and waiting for approval. That would be October 2 and then at room E604. I-record ko lang siya pagka po tayo nagle-lecture na. Kapagka ngayong nag-uusap pa lang, puwede po bang paki-note na lang? Yan. So waiting for approval, pero once na na-approve na yung schedule, I will inform you agad. Tapos puwede na po kayo magpa-reserve ng materials. So, I'm not sure 'no kung same, principle or same steps with SEIA na kapag nagpapa-reserve ng gamit is sasabihin lang kung ano yung experiment. So dito, puwede niyo sabihin kila Sir JD or kung sino man yung student assistant na ang experiment po natin ay torque. Okay, question. Ilan po ba rito ang nakagawa na nung torque na experiment? Paki-raise nga po yung hand. So, yeah, might as well yung mga galing kay Sir JP. Okay. Okay, thank you. Pakibaba na po. So, double check ko lang 'no, yung galing kay Sir Cyrus tsaka sa ibang faculty, hindi niyo pa po ba nagawa yung torque? Paki-raise yung hand kung hindi niyo pa po siya nagawa. Isa lang? Tatlo? Oh. Okay, thank you. So, for the sake of meron tayong gagawing bago, okay, so kahit ano pa siya kahit Biophysics 1 siya, well, at least we are doing something. Kaya hindi lang tayo nakatunganga. Okay, so thank you everyone. Pakibaba na po. Finalize natin, no? Our experiment is all about torque. So, after meeting, siguro later tonight, isa-send ko na yung ating manual. Okay, pakibaba na po. Normally, ang kulang sila sa gamit is yung string, yung madalas na kulang sila. So, kung kaya nyo mag-provide ng 1 string per group, much better. Okay? Para sa reservation, inform ko kayo kung ano yung time. Pero, ang reserve ko ay 1:30 to 7:30. Siyempre, di naman natin ubusin yan. So, titingnan natin kung ano yung ma-approve. Okay. So, next agenda, proceed tayo with the meeting. Pero, bago tayo mag-dive sa meeting itself or sa lecture itself, balikan natin yung assignment. Okay, so hingi tayo or titingin tayo or magre-recite ang students, at least 2 to 3 students. So, i-recite nila yung ginawa nilang assignment. Okay, so paano nga ba i-relate si electricity and magnetism pagdating sa medicine? Okay, so as I was looking in your assignment, so ito po yung sum of students na pwedeng mag-recite. Sige. Andito po ba si Miss Sophia Manrique? Sophia Manrique. So, i-explain nyo lang, no? Kasi ang kanyang gawa ay defibrillator. Okay, paki-explain lang po, Miss Manrique. Sophie. Pwede ka pong mag-share ng screen.
Hello po, sir. Audible po ba ako? Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon, yes.
Ba't ako naman yung natawag? So, anyways po, sir. Good afternoon. So, yung gawa ko po is for the electricity po, ang napili ko po is yung defibrillators po, yun. So, ano po siya, based po dun sa pagkakaintindi ko dun sa ni-research ko po. Ginagamit po siya dun sa parang pag-revive po dun sa heart. Pag, di ba po, nagkakaroon ng something like nagka-cardiac arrest yung tao. Like, yun po, parang ipipress po yun, then, naglalabas po yun ng electricity. Then, ano po, hindi ako then, ayun po, yung may dalawa po siyang circuits, then yun po yung nagpo-provide nung shape, nung tinatawag na safe shock, which is yun nga po, yun yung parang nakakapag, yun po yung nilalabas na electricity para po maano yung heart if ever na, yun nga, tumigil siya sa pagtibok. Then, ayun po, and also, meron din siyang power source, then a transmitter, then a capacitor, and rectifier na nagme-make siya doon sa charge ng circuit. Then, yung capacitors po, which is nag-meet po siya ng two conducting metal plates divided by the insulating substance known as the electric store electric charge na na nag-aano po siya, bibigay po siya ng potential difference which is placed to across them. Then, ayun po, which is, yun lang po yung pagkakaano sa ano niya. Okay, hindi na po sa defibrillators.
Okay, thank you, Sophia. That's enough. Okay, very good. So, one question, no? Di ba pagka po tayo ay nagkakaroon ng cardiac arrest, di ba yan ay may bumabara sa puso? Tama po ba?
Yes po, sir. As
Okay,
far as
so pagka ginamit si defibrillator, hindi ba napupush yung barado sa puso? Hindi ba siya ganun yung concept? Or somewhat ganun siya? Kasi mare-reset yung functioning ng heart. So, Okay, so yan yung mga question in mind. Okay? So following, let us ask another student. Andito po ba si John Allen Abanyo?
Hello po sir, rinig po ba?
Yes.
Sir, ano po yung sa electricity po ba? Or
Ah,
sa magnetism po?
sa electricity muna tayo.
And po, so yung sa akin naman po, malapit po siya sa defibrillator pero yung sa akin po is about pacemakers naman po. Yung sa akin naman po, di ba po sa healthy, sinimulan ko po siya sa pag-explain po nung natural pacemaker po ng ating katawan which is called sinoatrial node po. Tapos siya po yung nagre-regulate ng pacing tsaka ng pagbeat po ng heart natin. So sa ibang tao po na unhealthy, madalas po 'di ba pwede po silang mayroong heart condition or meron pong blockage sa kanilang mga ugat po. Kaya naman po pwede pong yung meron po silang meron po silang inborn na sakit, ayan. Pwede pong ang ginagawa po nila doon para maiwasan yung pag-slow down po ng heartbeat nila is yung paglalagay po ng pacemaker. So, bali po, para gumana po yun, yung pacemaker po, nilalagay po yun ah, sa baba po ng collarbone sa left or right po na parte ng chest. Tapos ilalagay po siya doon sa ilalim lang ng balat. Tapos idudugtong po yung wall po ng ventricle doon sa pacemaker gamit po yung isang lead or manipis na bakal. So para po gumana yun, sinesense po niya kung yung heart rate po ng isang tao is bumabagal. Kapag naramdaman niya po na bumabagal yun, basically po, mag-send po siya ng electrical signal doon sa wall ng heart para po ma-reset po yun. And para po bumalik po sa dating heart rate yung puso ng tao, which is nag-range po sa 60 to 100 ppms. Ganun po siya.
Okay, thank you. Just one question. Sino-sino yung pwedeng gumamit na itong pacemaker?
Sir, yung madalas daw pong gumagamit nito is yung mga taong, mga matatanda na po, mga 65 and above. Pwede rin pong gumamit yung mga taong meron pong kondisyon na bradycardia na bigla na lang pong bumabagal yung heartbeat nila ng walang dahilan. Or pwede rin pong gumamit yung mga taong may congenital condition po. Ayun.
Okay. Okay, thank you, John Allen. Then, let's proceed with Miss Laika. Ano pa rin tayo ng electricity? Miss Laika Soratos. Ayan, andito siya. Miss
Hello
Laika
po,
Desel.
sir. Yung sa akin naman po, sir, yung electricity and magnetism po is, hindi lang po siya basta sa makikita natin sa mga bahay tsaka yung mga literal na magnet po. May importance din po sila sa field ng medicine po. Yun nga po yung MRI machine tsaka yung ECG or electrocardiogram po. Tapos sa unang part po, yun nga po, inano ko po yung importance po nila sa field of medicine din. Dan po yung relationship po nilang dalawa. And then po yung kung ano po yung MRI, dinescribe ko din po na yung MRI is large cylindrical device po that manipulates dense magnetic waves and radio frequencies po. And po yung ECG po, dinescribe ko din po. It is a device din po that Um, it may not be visually appealing um, compared to MRI po. However po, its function is equally essential po. Means pareho po silang importante po. And then po yung dalawa po, pinag-combine ko po. Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Miss Laika, with your answers. And then, proceed tayo pagdating sa magnetism. Okay, so may we call on Miss Raisel May?
Hello po, rinig po ako.
Yes.
Sorry po, medyo ano po yung boses ko. So, sa magnetism po, ang nilagay ko po dito is yung magnetic resonance imaging po or MRI. Yung MRI po is frequently used to study the human body and to identify and track illnesses po. Tapos, ang purpose po nito is to observe the internal body tissues at gumagamit po ito ng magnets that are capable of producing strong magnetic fields po. When a radio frequency current is pointed in the direction of the patient, yung protons po within the body are stimulated against the force of the magnetic field. And because of dun po, the energy can be picked up by the MRI when the protons are aligned in the magnetic field. The way protons react and how energy is detected depends on the chemical composition of the object under study po. Dahil dito, medical professionals use this in locating and identifying organ tissues throughout the body. Yun lang po.
Okay, thank you, Raisel. So, I'll ask some volunteer kung may gusto pa bang mag-share ng gawa nila. Yes, Jason?
Wait lang po, sir. Okay, sorry po sir, di po ma-present yung gawa ko. Meron po kasi akong picture na in-include for visualization lang po sana. Bali yung napili ko po for magnetism is yung magnetotherapy po. Bali wields po sila ng pulse or static magnetic fields po para ma-faster po yung healing po tsaka ma-alleviate yung pain. Bali more on therapeutic technique po siya. Bali, ini-establish na po yung interaction po between sa magnetic fields and biological tissues po by influencing ion transport across membranes and enhancing cellular metabolism po.
Okay, thank you, Jason. Thank you for sharing your work. Wala po tayong question. And anyone else would like to share their work? Or can we proceed with our lecture? Okay, so I think we should proceed na. Ayan, nakikita na po ba? Okay, so I give my permission. I'll also ask the permission of the class if you want to have a recording with this lecture. Okay, so Miss Lucernas.
Sorry po, sir. Napindot lang po. Sorry po.
Okay, sige. Miss Roma, you may do the thing. Yan, okay. So it is being recorded. Okay, again, good afternoon, everyone. So welcome again to Biophysics 2. Our lecture for today is all about electromagnetism. So actually, the electromagnetism is simply the continuation of electricity and magnetism. So the difference between them is when we talk about electromagnetism, pinag-combine na yung concept ng electricity and magnetism. So for our agenda, so by the way, this would be a short meeting lang since, again, continuation lang naman ito ng last time. For our learning objectives, so we tend to understand the relationship of electricity and magnetism, how they are connected, explain Faraday's law and the concept of induction, discuss the nature of electromagnetic waves and how they are produced. Lastly, identify the members of electromagnetic spectrum and their uses and application in biological systems or even in medical research. Okay, so let us proceed. So before we jump into the main topic, so let us have a review. Kasi si electricity at saka si magnetism, si electric field at si magnetic field, they are both vectors. And when we talk about vectors, so recall, vectors are physical quantities simply characterized by their components that has magnitude and a direction. Okay? So, an example of a vector can be written as an arrow na may bold na symbol A, which in this case, we have the vector A, and you can write it in its component na A sub X, I hat, etc. hanggang sa A sub C, I sub C. So what we can do about vectors, we can add them. Okay? And also we can multiply it by a scalar. Anong nangyayari pagka nag-multiply tayo by scalar? It can either increase the magnitude or decrease the magnitude, and it is also possible to alternate its direction. Okay? So we can also subtract vectors by introducing, what happened? By introducing the concept of negative vectors. Please excuse me, I'll just reshare the PPT. Yan. Okay, so wag na lang po natin isum, no? Ayan na lang po natin siya. Okay, so anyways, aside from addition, subtraction, what we can also do is to have a vector multiplication. In the first case, we have the dot product. Pag sinabi po natin dot product, we're simply getting the scalar product netong vectors A and B. So you will have A, B cosine theta, wherein si cosine theta, or si theta rather, or si phi, ay the angle between vector A and B. So ang sinasabi lang dito is that you're getting the projection of, let's say, vector A onto vector B. So yan yung pagsasamahin mo. You have A sub X. Okay? So next, if the vectors are perpendicular, such as this, we have the cosine 90 degrees. That means walang projection. Okay? Lahat ng quantities or lahat ng component ay either nasa X or Y axis lang. So again, pag sinabi natin that product, ang ibibigay niya ay scalar. Ang counterpart niya, when we do cross product, symboled by X, ang ibibigay niya naman ay a vector. Okay, also recall, pinakaiba ni scalar tsaka ni vector when we talk about scalar, that is physical quantity rin naman siya pero wala siyang direction, puro magnitude lang. Okay? So important properties ito. Let's say when you cross A and B, you will get another vector C. If you are familiar with getting the determinant, okay, so ganun siya gawin. And you'll come up with these components. Okay, so in shorthand notation, pag sinabi nating A cross B, it will give you the perpendicular component naman ng one vector onto the other vector. Oops. Okay, so AB sine theta. So difference between the two, aside sa pagiging vector and scalar, si cross product, when you get A cross B, it is equal to the negative B cross A. Okay, again, when we talk about vector, pwedeng meron siyang direction upward, meron din siyang direction na downward. Okay? Kaya pagka binaligtad natin, makakuha ka ng negative na direction. So sa cross product din, pinakita yung right hand rule. Okay? If you recall, yung tatlong yung physics gangster sign, na let's say you have A and B. So if you take the A cross B, ang mga common direction ay upward. Okay? A si index, B si middle finger, A cross B, ang mga common direction ay upward. So kung baliktaran, B cross A, B cross A, ang mga common namang direction ay downward. Okay? So again, essential itong properties ng vector para ma-explain ano ba si electromagnetism. So let us proceed. So yung una nating objective, no, tingnan natin yung relationship ni electricity and magnetism. So to cut it short, so ginawa ko na siya in table form. Okay, so we have for the quantities, kung meron tayong electrostatic force, such as this one, we have also the magnetic force. So kung anong meron si electricity, somewhat meron din si magnetism. Kung meron tayong fields sa electricity, meron din naman sa magnetism. Next, if we have the flux, so ito yung field ng ating electricity or tinatawag na electric field. And then pagdating sa magnetism, siya naman po ay somewhat paikot din, okay? Or rotating. So, we have the so-called flux. Pag sinabi natin flux, that is an energy, a rate of energy that passes through a surface. So not necessarily energy, but anything that passes through a surface. Okay? So dito we have electric flux. Again, si electric field po yung nagpapass sa surface. Katulad nito. Okay, so one example niyan, kapag po yung ating, let's say, charged particle, nilagay natin siya sa box. Okay, magkakaroon ka ng flux on the face of this box. Okay? Ganun siya nagbe-behave. So, aside with electric flux, counterpart niya, meron tayong magnetic flux. Okay, so si magnetic flux, anong difference? Instead na diretso yung ating field, siya naman ay rotating. Pero again, tumatama pa rin siya sa surface. More likely, makikita mo yung magnetic flux sa surface ngayon ng mga pwedeng metals, etc. Next, we have the Gauss law. Ito naka-differential form, pero what we are saying is that when we take the dot product of this del operator, it will give you another scalar quantity. Pagdating naman sa magnetism, if you take the dot product of the del operator with respect to B, it will give you a 0. Ano bang sense niyan? Okay? Pag sinabi mo kasing dot product na may kinalaman si del operator, it will give you a result na somewhat linear. Okay? So, as we mentioned earlier, si electric field, siya kasi ay linear. So, might as well, magkakaroon ka ng resulta. Pagdating kay magnetic field, since siya po ay rotating or umiikot, pag kinuha mo yung linear, or kinuha mo yung dot product with respect to the del operator, it might give you, or it must give you a value of 0. Kung hindi siya 0, hindi magnetic field yung ating pinag-uusapan. Okay? So, anong key takeaway? So, somewhat, they are the two sides of a coin. Okay? So, that is, kung ano yung behavior ni electricity, somewhat, meron din si magnetism. Okay? By nature, lagi silang present. So, again, bakit kaya siya laging present? So, si electricity or si electric field, para siya sa charge particle. Samantalang si magnetism, para naman siya sa moving charge particle. So, the bottom line, pareho pa rin, meron kang particle. Okay? Kaya hindi siya ngayon nawawala or always present. So, the question, can electricity produce magnetism and vice versa? So, ito ngayon yung dito na ngayon lilitaw yung pangalang electromagnetism. Okay? Kapag nasagot natin to. So, last time, we introduced si Hans Christian Ørsted and his famous experiment to which nakita niya ngayon na yung current carrying wire can produce a magnetic field. So, this should be a vector. Ayan. So, the magnitude of magnetic field is simply equal to the integral of I. Ito po yung current. Then, si DL ay infinitesimal length ng wire. Siyempre, kung meron kang current, dapat dadaloy siya sa, let's say, wire, etc. Wire or pwede rin naman siyang sphere. Pero ang model natin, pinaka-basic ay kapag siya po ay wire. Okay? Kaya DL lang siya. Then, some unit vector R hat over R squared. And you will have this magnetic field. So, next. Nakuha na natin yung unang sagot. Yes, si current ay nakaka-produce ng magnetic field. How about in reverse? Let's see. So, si Michael Faraday, he conducts or he do some experiments. Okay? So, secrets ng magnetism ay halos lahat nang galing sa experiment. Okay? Mula kay Ørsted, then we have the Michael Faraday. Okay? So, kay Michael Faraday, he conducted some experiments that shows a change in a changing magnetic flux will give you an electromotive force. So, sir, ano bang ibig sabihin nun? Okay? So, Faraday's law, it states that the electromotive force is simply the negative change in magnetic flux with respect to time. So, CMF is simply an energy. Yung energy, pwede siyang magamit ng particle or let's say electron or proton in a sense. So kung meron siyang energy, what it can do, pwede siyang mag-transform. Let's say for example, pwede siyang maging kinetic energy or pwede siyang gumalaw. Okay? So napag-usapan natin ulit si flux. Again, si flux ay magnetic field na nagpo-flow within a surface. Okay? So pwede siyang, let's say for example, yung magnetic field na nagpo-flow sa surface ng wire. Okay, so pwede yun. So in a sense, highlight ko lang din na yung ating SI unit para sa electromotive force is volts. And when we talk about volts or V, meron tayong tinatawag na Ohm's law. Okay? So dito, hindi siya V. Instead V, gagawin natin E. Okay? Yan yung symbol. E is equal to IR. Ano si E? It is somewhat the potential or volts. R naman, siya yung resistance ng wire. And then, yung I, si I po ay, or the symbol I stands for the current. So balik tayo doon sa question. Can electricity produce magnetism and vice versa? The answer is yes. Ano yung keyword? Paano ka makakaproduce ng electricity? Kailangan mo ng changing magnetic flux. Okay, so sir, paano namin gagawin yon? Okay, so by the way, before we proceed, the phenomena na nangyayari is what we call induction. Okay, so nag-i-induce ka ngayon ng current. So again, paano natin gagawin yung time varying na magnetic flux? So ito po yung example. Okay? So we have this magnet. Okay? So again, magpo-produce siya ngayon ng magnetic field. Okay? Paikot. Papunta siya ngayon always sa South Pole. So it looks like this. And then, syempre, hindi lang siya one place, kalat yan. So, at instance, pwede siya ngayong tumama dito sa may solenoid, okay? Or dito sa mga coil of wires. So, what happens? Kung tumatama siya or dumadaan siya dito sa coil of wires, that means meron kang flux. So, paano natin siya iibahin? Ito po yung steps. Pwede natin gawin is i-move natin siya up and down. So that means, ang itsura nito is, at some point, yung pinakamalapit na field, yung tatama dun sa coil, and then pag minove mo siya upward, yung pinakamalayo na. Or what I'm saying is, yung mahinang field na yung tatama dun sa coil. Okay? So yun yung key idea, no? Pagka po minove mo yung magnet ng up and down, magkakaroon ka ngayon ng current. So makikita nyo dito yung kanyang ammeter, merong nare-rig na current. So aside dyan, so what's next is pwede rin namang yung current or yung itong coil ay nag-connect sa may, let's say, battery, okay? Or source ng electricity. So what happens is yung mga charged particles, let's say electron, siya ngayon ay mag-move. So kung mag-move siya, it will produce some magnetic field. And then, again, si magnetic field, pwede siyang sumakop ng until with this regime. Okay? And what you can do is now, pwede mo ngayong i-turn on and off yung ating, let's say, DC voltage. Okay? Pwede mo siyang on and off yung switch, magkakaroon kayo ng varying na magnetic flux. Okay, so pwede rin naman kapag ginawa mo ay instead na direct current, alternating current. Okay, so with that, always changing ngayon si magnetic flux. Okay, so I believe this transcranial magnetic stimulation, may nakagawa nito. So ano nga ba ito? It is simply a magnetic stimulation on the brain that is useful on studying some neurological problems. So later, i-introduce natin paano siya gumagana. Okay. So let's have some example. We have a uniform magnetic field. So yung una natin example, no? Gagamitin natin si Faraday's law para lang mas mag-grasp yung idea niya. So again, a uniform magnetic field makes an angle of 30 degrees with the axis of a particular coil of 300 turns and the radius of 4 centimeters. The field changes at rate of 85 Tesla per second. Find the magnitude of induced electromotive force in the coil. So let's see. So base dun sa Faraday's law, the equation is this one. Okay? Pero since we are talking about magnitude, pag sinabi nating magnitude, titake lang natin yung absolute value. So meaning, wala na po yung negative sign. Okay? So ito yung Faraday's law. Next. When we talk about flux, teka. Ayan. Si flux is simply the dot product. Kung maaalala mo you might encounter electric flux, no, nung electricity. Pero if not, it is simply the dot product between the field with respect to the area. Okay, kasi gusto natin kunin yung connection. Okay, kung gaano nga ba karaming field yung nagpapass within that surface. Oops. Okay. So again, yung ating equation or formula para sa dot product, we have AB cosine theta or vector B and then the projection of vector A onto vector B. So ito yung na-recall natin kanina. And then what we have here, since siya po ay merong n number of turns rather, 300, so we have this multiple na n. Okay? So next. So what we do next is, mula dun sa Faraday's law, ito po siya, sinubstitute na natin yung magnetic flux. Okay? And then, what happens is, ito po ay constant, yung area ng ating surface ay constant. Okay? Ang pwede natin baguhin ngayon ay yung magnitude ng magnetic field. So therefore, substituting the given values, sabi, Cn daw po ay 300. Then we have the area, okay, which is pi r squared, area ng circle. This is your pi, this is your r squared per centimeters. And then we have the cosine 30 as given. And then yung rate of change daw ay dB over dt is simply 85 Tesla per second. So with this, pwede na po natin siyang i-simplify. And you will give 111 volts. So again, what's next? Anong pwede natin gawin? Pwede na po natin kunin yung magiging current niya. Okay, pag pinadaan na po natin siya, let's say, sa copper wire, etc., etc. Okay, so ganun natin siya ngayon may-utilize. Okay, next example. So we have blood contains positive and negative ions, and thus we may call it as a conductor. Okay? And then si blood vessel, pwede natin siyang ma-model as electrical wire. So ganun tayo kay physics, no? Lagi nating tinetake yung symmetry or meron tayong palaging pinagkokopyahang model. So in this case, ang pinagkopyahan natin ay yung current carrying wire. And then yung ating object of concern ay yung blood vessel. Okay, so if the blood vessel is placed in a magnetic field B perpendicular to the vessel, as shown in the figure, and you expect that the blood will be flowing at 15 centimeter per second for a vessel of 5 millimeters in diameter, what strength of magnetic field you need to produce a potential difference of 1 millivolts? Okay, so somewhat, pwede siya sa defibrillator or defib. Okay, yung short term na tayo, defib. Okay, so somewhat same idea. So paano natin siya gagawin? Okay, so binigay nga pala rito, it is already derived. Okay, so hindi na natin siya pinakita kung paano yung derivation. But the idea is, for a moving source, okay, you have the electromotive force equal to the velocity of it, the magnetic field, and the thickness, D. So, ang hinahanap daw po natin is what should be the strength of magnetic field. So, we're solving for B. So solving for B, we simply divide both sides by velocity and then thickness D. Then substitute the given. Okay, this is the 15 centimeters. You have the 5 millimeters at saka yung 1 millivolts. Okay, so upon substituting all the given, pwede na po tayong makakuha ng final answer as 1.3 Tesla. Okay, next. Sa application of electromagnetism in medical field. So una na dyan si MRI. So sa MRI, napansin natin kanina, no, may mga students na ginamit yung MRI. Pero meron lang tayong short description. Okay? So again, si MRI, anong ginagawa niya? It uses strong magnetic fields to somewhat influence the charges within the body. So si magnetic resonance imaging or si MRI ay medyo advanced topic pa kasi. Kaya expected na hindi pa natin siya kayang i-explain ngayon. Ma-explain natin siya pagdating ng nuclear physics. Okay? Doon natin siya mas mahihimay kung paano ba nangyayari sa MRI. Okay? Or should I say NMRI. Okay? Kasi meron na siyang term na nuclear sa unahan. Next, pinakita ko rin kanina si TMS or transcranial magnetic stimulation. Okay? Meron itong coil, okay, na nilalapat sa ulo. Okay? And then yung coil na yan, meron siyang electric current. So what happens? Sabi natin kung merong electric current, magkakaroon ng magnetic field. Okay? Then itong si magnetic field, pwede siya ngayong mag-trigger or mag-induce ulit ng EMF inside the brain. Okay? So sa ilalim na itong coil na to. So let's say hanggang dito lang siya sa part na to. So what happens is kapag po siya ay pinaikot na sa ulo, okay? Some part of it may react. Okay? So katulad sa reflex ng tao, no? And from there, upon the reaction of the brain of the patient, makakita na siya ng iba't ibang electric activity. Okay? And from there, from this electric activity, pwede niya na ngayon makita if meron ba siyang neurological conditions. Okay? So something like that. Okay? Ganun ngayon si TMS. And then, lastly, we have this bioelectric impedance analysis. Discretion lang po, no, guys, no? Hindi po ako yan. Okay? So, ano bang ginagawa ni bioelectric impedance analysis? From the word impedance, pag sinabi po nating impedance, yan po is somewhat counterpart ng resistor. Okay? Pag sinabi nating resistor, nire-resist niya yung current ng direct current. Si impedance naman, i-resist niya naman yung current kapag siya po ay alternating current na. Okay? So what happens? You have these electrodes attached on this overweight body. And then mag-a-apply siya ngayon ng AC voltage with a frequency of, let's say example, pwede na siguro yung 50 kilohertz. So si gantong frequency, di naman siya delikado sa atin. Okay? So ano mangyayari? So sabi natin, meron tayong current na ina-apply or frequency. So yung ating body components, yung fats, yung muscle, yung lipids, etc. May kanya-kanya siya ngayong impedance. May kanya-kanya siyang value ng ohms. Okay? So with this, pag pinadaanan natin siya sa katawan ng tao, okay? Then, meron ka ngayong detector. Etong detector, ang gagawin niya is, i-detect niya ngayon yung resulting na current na dumaan ngayon dito sa patient's body. And with that, pwede na natin ngayong somewhat ma-approximate, no? Gaano ba karami yung fat or gaano ba karami yung water na nandito sa ating katawan. Okay, ganun siya ngayon gumagana. So for further readings, if you are interested, okay, you may visit this journal. Okay, so isa-send ko naman si PPT, so pwede nyo siyang bisitahin. Okay, so that's the sum of the application of electromagnetism in medical field. So marami pa ito. Okay. So next, let there be light. So students, I'd like to ask one question. What do we meant by light? Anyone? What is light in a simple sense? Let us ask, hindi pa nagtatok dito. Let us ask Krisha Jean Cristobal.
Light po is yung radiation electromagnetic.
Sorry?
Am I
Sorry?
audible?
Okay, sige. Let's ask another student. Let us have Francine.
Sir, am I audible po?
Yes.
Light is a form of electromagnetic radiation.
Okay, electromagnetic radiation. So, some of you, pwede mo siyang masagot din na it is a particle or a wave. Okay? Pero mas applicable sa kanya as of the moment as an electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation. So that's it. Ano bang, the question is, paano siya naging radiation? Okay, so sabi lang nila, electromagnetic radiation, tatanggapin na lang ba natin yon? Okay, so meron siyang somewhat proof. Okay, or meron tong pinanghugutan. So you might already know him. This is James Clerk Maxwell. So kilala niyo po ba siya? Paki-raise nga yung hand kung kilala niyo siya. Oh, ayan, okay. So, just to give, kung sino man si James Clerk Maxwell, isa siyang physicist, then he formulated this, what we call Maxwell equations. So dito, ang sinasabi lang ay, mula sa apat na equations na ito, na-formulate niya yung what is light. Okay? So yun yung sinasabi ng high school eh. Pinakita lang sa equation, tapos ang sabi diyan, sa equation na yan, light is an electromagnetic wave. And that's it. Okay? Ngayon, ang gagawin natin is, tatry natin siya ngayong himayin. So si Maxwell's equation, meron po siyang integral form, as you can see on the right side. Okay, and then meron siyang differential form. So I believe lahat naman po kayo nakapag-differential na, no? Tama po? Nakatake na ng differential calculus. Okay. So, introduce lang natin si del operator. Pag sinabi nating del operator, that is simply a vector na derivative. Kaya ganun natin siya i-introduce. So, anong meron dito? Okay, so himayin natin siya. In deriving the light as an electromagnetic radiation or wave, dalawa lang yung gagamitin natin dito actually. This one at saka this one. Okay? So ito, may ibang meaning siya. Okay, sinasabi lang dito, wala kang monopole. Okay, tapos ito, meron kang charge, okay, positive, negative, na single. Okay? Something like that. Pero in deriving the electromagnetic wave as the light, yung dalawa lang. Okay? So, saan siya manggagaling? Magsisimula po siya dito. Yung second, tawagin natin siyang second. Second equation and then the fourth equation. Okay. So, sabi sa second equation, kung babalikan natin tong integral form, sinasabi lang is, makakagawa ka ng electric field or makapag-produce ka ng electric field if you are changing the magnetic flux. Okay? So, tignan nyo to, no? Ito po ay B.dA, that is magnetic flux, and then you have the partial derivative with respect to time. That simply means changing siya. Okay? Yun ang ibig sabihin. So what we can do is pwede tayong kumuha ngayon ng cross product from both sides. Okay? So yung nakikita niyong figure sa kanan, si A tsaka si 1.9 A, yan yung fields ng electric field saka ni magnetic field. Okay? Pag sinabi natin curl, somewhat nagro-rotate. Okay? Pag sinabi naman natin dot, somewhat linear. Okay? As simple as that. So pag tinake po natin itong cross product, naglagay po tayo ng cross product on both sides, meron po tayong susundang backup rule para dito sa left hand side. Kung hindi po kayo familiar sa backup rule, pwede nyo po siyang balikan na lang. Okay, so as of the moment, just to save time, itanggapin muna natin. Okay, so what backup rule will give you something del or gradient kung tawagin, del of the dot product between del operator and electric field subtracted by partial squared ng del times the electric field E is equal to the cross product or negative partial with respect to time of the cross product of del operator and magnetic field B. So pwede ko siyang gawin sa derivatives, no? Pwede kong pag-interchange. So ganun lang yung ginawa dito sa line na to. So next, etong curl ng B or cross product ng B, equal siya ngayon dito sa fourth equation. So sa fourth equation, just simply neglect this. May ibang physical meaning yan. Ang concern natin or ang target natin gagamitin ay itong second term. Okay? Anong sinasabi na second term? Makaka-produce ka ng magnetic field if nagbabari si electric field. Okay? So, kung yan yung definition niya, pwede natin ngayong substitute. Katulad nito. Okay? So, si del cross B, sinubstitute lang natin siya as this one. And then, what's next is, doon sa ating left-hand side naman, this simply becomes 0. Okay, so meron din siya, again, physical reason, pero masyado na siyang malalim kung ihihimayin, kaya just simply accept this should be equal to 0. So, ang matitira, you have negative del squared E is equal to the right-hand side. Okay, so what's next? Pag tinake mo yung time derivative ng time derivative na, anong ibabato sa'yo? You will have the second order, okay? Partial differential. And what's next? Meron tayong negative sa right-hand side, tsaka left-hand side, pwede na siya ma-cancel out. And one last thing, pwede natin ito ngayong ilipat sa kabila. Okay? Dividing both sides by this. So, anong mangyayari pag ginawa natin yung mga iyon? You will have something like this. So, partial squared E, again, pag sinabi naman natin del operator, ito lang po siya. And then, so dito, partial squared E all over X, that simply indicates na X-axis lang yung pag-usapan muna natin. Okay? So, kung gusto yung YZ, pwede naman. Okay? Pero in this case, sa X lang tayo mag-focus. Tapos, nag-divide both sides tayo by new subnut, e subnut. Ito po siya. And then, yung ating kaninang nasa right-hand side, magkakaroon ka ulit ng partial squared E with respect to partial T squared. So, anong meron dito sa equation na to? Eh, yan yung ginawa ni Maxwell, no? Anong meron dito? So, next slide will give you the wave equation. Kung hindi kayo familiar sa wave equation, this is somewhat a second order linear partial differential equation that describes a wave in terms of position or displacement at saka time t. Okay? Ngayon, kung i-compare natin siya, so this is the left-hand side, and then this is your partial squared E with respect to partial squared X, and ito ay yung speed ng wave. Okay? So that means, pag tinake natin yung square root, makukuha mo na yung velocity ng wave. So doon pa lang, may isip mo na, since pinattern matching natin siya sa wave equation, pwede nating masabi na yung electricity tsaka magnetism, siya ay somewhat a wave. Okay? So, but it turned out, ito pong, by the way, no, if di po kayo familiar with wave equation, pwede nyo siyang bisitahin. So, it turned out, if you take, or if you simplify this, ang makukuha mong answer ay this one. So, ito po ay yung tinatawag natin speed of light. Okay? Kapag sinimplify na natin. So, from there, masasabi na natin, si light ay somewhat electromagnetic wave or electromagnetic radiation. Okay? So, interchangeable yung pangalang wave tsaka radiation pagdating dito. 2.998 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. Pero itong value na to, meron din siyang history. Okay? So, hindi naman si Maxwell ang gumawa. Okay? Pero meron siyang history. So, some of the attempts para makuha yung value ng speed of light ay katulad nung kay Galileo. Okay? Ang ginawa ni Galileo is, meron siyang hill. So, meron kang person 1 tsaka si person number 2. Ang gagawin ni person 1, pareho silang merong lamp na naka-cover. So, ang gagawin ni person 1, bubuksan niya yung lamp and then yung timer din. So, the idea is, yung light magta-travel from person 1 to person 2. Tapos, pag nakita na ni person 2 yung light, bubuksan niya na rin yung kanyang lamp. Tapos, babalik ngayon yung light papunta kay person 1. Tapos, since gumagamit ng stopwatch si person 1, makakuha niya na ngayon yung time it takes to travel 2D. Okay? And since from ancient equation, so velocity is equal, to distance over time. Okay? So somewhat, tinry nilang i-take kung ano yung value ng speed of light. At syempre, hindi sila nagtagumpay. Of course, maraming factors. Una, masyadong malapit. Okay, so sobrang bilis ng speed of light. Error yung makukuha nila. Pangalawa, madilim, no? More likely, madilim nila ginagawa. And the idea is, possible na hindi nila nakita ng maayos yung ilaw galing sa lab. Okay? Pero interesting din siya na history kung paano nga ba nakuha si speed of light. Okay, so makikita nyo po yan dito sa video link din na binigay ko. But you are getting the point, no? Mula sa Maxwell equations, we came to the conclusion na electromagnetic waves is simply light itself. Okay, so again, just to give you some idea, sabi natin kanina, pag change mo si magnetic field, nakaka-produce ka ng electric field. Pag change mo si electric field, nakaka-produce ka ng magnetic field. And the cycle goes on. Kaya sila ngayon ay nagpa-propagate. Okay? Kaya sila lumalakad katulad nito. Okay? So, paano yung direction? Gagamit siya ngayon ng right-hand rule. Okay? So, pwede mong sabihin si electric field, nandito lang siya sa X. Si magnetic field, sa Y lang siya. Positive Y or negative Y. Tapos, yung propagation nila ay patungo sa Z direction. Okay? Ganyan ngayon siya. Ganyan siya i-explain kung paano siya naging electromagnetic radiation. So, radiation in a sense na pag sinabi mong wave, it carries some energy. You can see that the figure, the electromagnetic spectrum. So, I believe you are somewhat familiar with it already. So, if you have the combination of wavelength at saka frequency, can give you the electromagnetic spectrum. Okay? So, the ratio is, kapag meron kang mahabang wavelength, might as well, mababa yung frequency. At kapag maliit yung wavelength, that means mataas yung frequency. Okay? So we have this type of electromagnetic radiation. We have the radio waves, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, at saka gamma rays. Okay? So tayo as human beings, ito yung wavelengths na pwede natin makita or tinatawag nating visible light. At some wavelengths, some animals katulad ng insects, pwede silang makita ng, let's say, microwave. Or yung iba, pwede silang makita ng ibang infrared, etc. Okay? Na hindi kaya ng human being. Okay? So the main idea with this, ano bang pagkakapare-pareho nitong electromagnetic spectrum? Kahit magkakaiba sila ng wavelength at saka ng frequency, pag pinag-multiply mo yung dalawa, lagi kang babalik sa speed of light. So lahat yan, wala rito sa radio hanggang gamma ray, dapat yung speed nila in vacuum should be equal to the speed of light. Okay? So next, recall lang din natin no, yung parts ng wave, baka medyo nakakalimutan na natin. Pag sinabi nating amplitude, that is the height of the wave. Okay? Or should we say the disturbance, okay? From equilibrium or equilibrium point. Next, ano naman pag tinawag nating wavelength? Pag sinabi nating wavelength, that is point, that is one complete cycle or one from point 1 to point 2. Okay? Or pwede nating sabihin from the crest, okay? Crest yung upper part and then through yung bottom part. Okay? So pag naulit na siya, pwede natin siyang tawagin as a wavelength. Okay? Then si frequency, simply number of wave cycle that occurs in 1 second. And lastly, when we talk about period, that is the time it takes to complete 1 cycle. Or simply, T is equal to 1 over F, 1 over frequency. Okay, so you might notice no, na sila microwave tsaka infrared, nagagamit na yan ng mga animals. Okay, so how about yung iba? Saan kaya siya nagagamit? So let us see. Okay, so one example of the use of electromagnetic spectrum or radiation is the penetration of radiation through someone's body. Okay, so dito you can have or solve for the attenuation factor using the Beer's law. So makikita mo yung ibang electromagnetic wave ay kaya mag-penetrate katulad ng X-ray, okay, yung mga strong, yung mga short wavelengths, okay, kaya niya mag-penetrate compare sa mga longer wavelength na katulad ng, let's say, radio waves, etc. Okay? So to get the attenuation factor or yung na-absorb ng ating katawan, you may consider Beer's law. So si Beer's law, pwede mo siyang or you might encountered it already sa chemistry. So anong ginagawa niya? Meron kang source ng light or radiation. So instead na beam, tawagin nating source ng electromagnetic radiation. Then tatama siya dito sa sample. And what happens, some of the beam or light will be absorbed by the constituents. And ano mangyari? Some of it will absorb, some of it transmit. So kapag nag-transmit na siya, pwede na siya ngayong makuha ng light detector. Okay? So ganun din sa katawan ng tao. So anong sinasabi ni Beer's law? Sinasabi ni Beer's law, yung intensity I, yung bagong intensity I, should be equal to the initial intensity at Z is equal to 0. Pagdating sa tissue, yung Z ay tinatawag nating thickness. Okay? So gano'n na kalalim yung na-penetrate ng ating incident ray. Okay? And then exponential of the negative attenuation factor, A sub light, times, again, the thickness, Z. Itong attenuation factor na to, makikita pa rin natin ito pagdating sa X-rays. Okay? So ginagamit tong same concept na to. Pero hindi na siya kasing simple ng ganitong equation. Okay? Kasi may sasama na siyang iba pang concept ng physics. So as of the moment, dito lang muna tayo sa, let's say, microwave, yung ating electromagnetic radiation. Okay? So other than that, other than penetration ng electromagnetic radiation, ito pa rin po yung some application. So we have thermal interactions with bacteria. So you might already notice, no, yung ating mga microwave oven. Okay? So ano ginagawa niya? Ini-sterilize niya ngayon yung excuse me, yung pagkain. So aside from heating the food, pinapatay din niya yung bad organisms, no? Bad microorganisms. So aside from the microwave oven, so ginagamit din si microwave for ablation therapy. Okay, pumapatay naman siya ngayon ng cancer cell. Okay, so another example, we have the X-ray imaging. You already know it. So it produces or it uses electromagnetic radiation that can penetrate through solid objects, so including human body. So kung si magnetic or si microwave radiation hanggang skin lang siya, hanggang fats, si radiation kaya niyang tumagos hanggang sa buto. Okay, hanggang dun siya. So, and lastly, we have this infrared thermography. Okay? So alam niyo yung mga scanner na ginagamit ngayon sa pwede sa mall, pwede sa airport, etc. Okay? So chine-check lang naman yung body temperatures ng tao. Okay? So as you may notice, no, kahit si person, nag-emit din tayo ng electromagnetic radiation. So bakit? Kasi within our body, of course, may gumagalaw pa rin na charges. So yung pangalang idea ng yung pinag-usapan natin last time, okay? Yung neurons, okay? Yung electric pulse. So that means may gumagalaw na or meron tayong current, that means nakapag-produce tayo or nakapag-emit tayo ng radiation. Okay, so baka may alam pa kayong ibang application ng electromagnetic radiation aside dito. Okay, so nabanggit na natin kanina yung infrared light, nakikita siya ng snake, fish, insect, butterfly, etc. Okay, may idea po ba kayo na gustong i-share? Okay, kung wala, okay lang din po. Okay, let us proceed. Let's have another example. Yung example na kinuha ko rito is the exercise problem 32.5. Pero hindi siya yung complete version, yung kung ano lang yung alam natin. Okay, kung ano lang yung na-discuss. So medical x-rays are taken with electromagnetic waves having a wavelength of around 10 nanometers. What are the frequency and this should be end period of such waves? So again, kanina in-introduce natin si speed of light as equivalent to the wavelength. This is your wavelength, WL. And then ito si frequency. Okay? So kunin daw natin yung frequency. We can simplify this by rearranging frequency is equal to the speed of light divided by the wavelength. And next, we substitute the given. So si speed of light, that should be constant. So instead na 2.998, gawin na lang natin siyang 3 times 10 raised to 8 meters per second. And then you have your nanometer as times 10 raised to negative 9 meters. Oops. Simplifying, you will get your frequency as 3 times 10 raised to 18 hertz. So pag sinabi nating frequency, ang kanyang SI unit ay hertz and 1 hertz is simply equal to 1 over second. Okay, so recall lang din natin. So next, ano daw si period? Pag sinabi nating period, that is T is equal to 1 over F. So kunin lang natin yung reciprocal ng ating answer. This will give you frequency or period rather as 3.3 times 10 raised to negative 19 seconds. So ganun siya kabilis. Okay? So next example. So suppose the attenuation coefficient of a soft tissue, pwedeng fat or mast cell, is provided as 1 per centimeter. Find the thickness of the tissue when the intensity of the electromagnetic radiation is reduced by half. So dito, gagamitin natin si Beer's law. Okay? So again, we have here the new intensity, yung initial intensity, and then yung attenuation factor, at saka thickness Z. So mula rito, makakuha natin si thickness Z if we first take the logarithmic of both sides. Okay? So, additional info, sabi dito, the radiation is reduced by half. So, kapag tinik natin yung ratio ng new intensity divided by initial intensity, dapat 0.5. Okay, so again, we have to take the ln of both sides. So, pag tinik natin sa ln, magka-cancel po yung E. And lastly, what's next is divide both sides by negative alpha or negative alpha para malipat si negative sign sa kabila. And you will have your thickness Z as this. Okay? And finally, you may now simplify it by substituting the attenuation factor of 1 over centimeter. So you have 1 over centimeter here. So mangyari ito number, tapos ito number with SI unit centimeter. Okay, mangyayari, mapupunta sa numerator ngayon si centimeter. And thus, you have your thickness Z is equal to 0.693 centimeters. Okay, so mas interesting to pagdating sa radiation kasi may other factors pa na kino-consider such as photoelectric effect and so on. So question of the day. When a credit card is swiped through a card reader, the information coded in a magnetic pattern on the back of the card is transmitted to the cardholder's bank. The question is, why is it necessary to swipe the card, okay, rather than making it motionless? So yun yung question, bakit siya sinaswipe? Okay? So meron po ba kayong idea bakit? Anyone? So may kinalaman siya sa pinag-usapan natin. Sige. Pag nasagot nyo to, tapos na tayo for today's meeting. Yes, Christine Joy.
Good afternoon po, sir. Rinig po ako.
Yes.
Bali po yung sa card po kasi sa likod nun may parang stripe po. Tapos yun pong stripe na yun, parang siya po yung nagko-contain po ng data katulad po ng mga bank account number or name po. Tapos yung card reader po, pag sinwipe po yung, bali yung stripe po dun sa card, pag sinwipe po siya, kailangan po ng yung parang changing ng magnetic field po. Tapos yun po yung parang nagbibigay po ng signal dun sa card reader para po ma-decode yung information po.
Okay, very good. So the idea, syempre Okay, so the idea, yung card reader, siya ay somewhat electrical, okay, electronics. Tapos si card itself, meron siyang naka-code, okay, na magnetic codes kumbaga. So pag sinwipe mo siya, anong mapoproduce? So somewhat yung nasa likod ng card ay merong magnet. Okay? Pag sinwipe mo siya, makakapag-induce siya ngayon ng EMF. And then at certain current, okay, yun ngayon yung mababasa nung reader, okay, pagdating doon sa tawag doon? Sa card reader. Okay? So that's the idea, no? Induction. Okay, so paano siya kinocode? Okay, kinocode siya in a sense of, pag sinabi nating card reader, okay, meron niyang ngayong binary. Okay, either 1, 0, no? Kung kayo po ay nakapag coding, ganun po siya nag-read. 1 kapag may electricity or electric current na dumaan, 0 kapag wala. Okay, mga inductors yung ginagamit. So, syempre, different codes para sa different card holder. Okay, and then pag nag-expire na si card somewhat, pwede na nila ngayong ma-recycle. Okay, so that's it. That's it for today. So, ang pinaka-message ng ating lecture today is that yung electromagnetism papunta sa idea ng light. So, next meeting, alam nyo na, ang topic natin ngayon is all about light. Okay? So, again, thank you for your participation and for your assignment. So, ito po ay kinuha ko din sa book. Okay? Pagka meron po kayong correction, pakitanong na lang sa akin. Okay, so that's it. Meron po ba kayong question? Okay, so I guess wala na po question. Mag-stop na po ka na share. Pwede na pong tanggal yung recording, Miss Roma. Nakatulog yata si Miss Roma. Ayan. Okay. So next week, expect nyo no, na as soon as na-aprobahan yung ating schedule, bibigay ko na siya agad sa inyo. Okay? Para pwede na tayong mag-experiment. So kindly, pagbigay ko po nung lab manual mamaya, pwede nyo na po siyang basahin at strategize kung paano gagawin. Okay? So kung wala na pong question, pwede po ba tayong kumuha ng picture? Paki-open lang yung camera. Ano magiging posing natin, Miss Sophia? Yeah, last time nag-ano tayo, di ba? Finger heart. So ano ngayon? Paano tayo ngayon? Anyone? Dito pa ba si Roma? Roma, dito ka pa, Roma. Roma, paggalawin mo yung baso. Wala na si Roma. Ayan, okay. Sige, pakikuha na lang ulit ng picture. Pero, naglolo ko yung cam. Okay lang yan, Miss Roma. Pero anong ano natin? Anong posing natin? Ito na lang, 3 dimension. Ayan. Gayahin niya, 3 dimension. X, Y, and Z. Hindi yan tres Pag ginayon nyo, tres yan. Pero pag ganyan, 3 dimension. Ayan. Okay. Okay na lang, Miss Roma, pakikuha ng picture. Sir, kung ano trip, no? Bukas gangster sign na yung gagawin natin. Miss Roma, nangangawit na yata sila. Saan ka na, Roma? Assignment, pakihanap si Roma. Saan si Roma? Sige, ikaw na nga lang, Miss, sino ba yung gumagamit na isang kamay? Ikaw na lang, Miss, or Jason, ikaw na lang, Jason.
Okay na, sir. Napicturean ko na po.
Ay, okay na? Sige. Sige. Okay, so thank you so much, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you
po, sir.